Hello and welcome to ARK Survival Evolved. We're on the Extinction map and today we're back out in the snow biome because I want to build a sort of like a permanent base out here. I mean, it's not going to be like a central base. I mean, the plan from the start's always been to build a base at each key location so I can get around the map a lot easier. But one of the reasons I particularly want one here is that I want to be able to get high level snow owls, high level managarmas, so I can see me spending quite a while out here. Because on the map I tend to find quite a lot of low-level dinos out there, so I want to be able to spend quite some time out here and basically just whittle away the low-level ones until I can get some decent high-level ones. But I don't want to keep having to run back to like the city base that I've got, for instance, to get more ammo, or going back there to repair things, for instance. I mean, at the moment I've got right up on that shelf up there. There's a trap I've been using, and near that I've got a bed on a couple of foundations with a bit of storage, but I need something more permanent. I need somewhere where I can keep things like kibble, mutton for instance as well, in a refrigerator, and I want a crafting area where I can repair my armor, or I can make new bullets, new darts and so on, so that way I can just spend more time here, and it should make things a whole lot easier than how things are going at the moment. So what I've been doing is I've been looking around on the map, and in terms of like flat areas, there's quite a few. I mean, it's pretty reasonably flat up there. I mean, that's part of the reason why I put the trap there. The only problem is it's just wide open, so I'm trying to find areas that are easily defended. So I mean, I found this one. I quite like this one because it's actually near water. I'm not planning to make like a kibble farm or anything here, to be honest, but it's still pretty good if you were to want to do that. I mean, it's a relatively flat for quite a distance there. It runs for a while, and you've got these edges here where they're just basically shelves, and you're just not gonna, I don't think you're gonna see any dinos climbing up them. There's an entry point on this side here, and then there's that kind of like ridge over there. We've got a kind of like a natural bridge that's been formed, so that's the other entry point. I mean, there's always the potential for things to come over the top, and then you've got things like the managarmas that'll get in your way. So as long as I build something that's enclosed, so like maybe wall these two sides off and put roofs on the place, then I think I should be okay. So what I've done is I've made quite a few items that I'm going to be using. So for instance, I want a grill, so I can basically be able to cook my meat, because I'm going to be out here for quite a while, so I want to be able to cook that a lot quicker than using just a normal campfire, for instance. Got a refrigerator so that I can keep things like the kibble and meat on supply, basically, on demand rather. A couple of forges so that I can make some bullets and so on. Well, basically smelt the iron and then make the bullets using the smithy. And got a generator, obviously to power the refrigerators, but also for a chemistry bench here, because obviously I'll have to make gunpowder and spark powder and so on. And then I've got a fabricator, and that's for like repairing things. Maybe if there's only anything I need to make while I'm here, I can do that. Bit of storage, and I've come out with a bit of foundations to get started, but I've got somewhere around here, yeah, there's Dipsy there, so I can just get Dipsy to come along and help. I've also got Agnes in there, so she can carry quite a bit of weight around if need be. There's plenty of trees around to help me build things, because most of the stuff I'll be doing is in stone. I've got a rough idea of the sort of building I'm going to make. So I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm pretty much just going to get started with this rough idea. I want so like a crafting area on one side, a cooking area on the other side, and in the middle I'll have pretty much just like the storage, and I might put the bed there. But before I get started though, I mean, if at any time you do find yourself liking the video, then do remember to click that like button, as that'll help me out a great deal. And if you've got any comments or suggestions, or if there's anything you particularly want to see on the channel, then do please post that in the comment section below. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see new content, then yeah, then please do subscribe, but just remember to click that little bell icon as well, because then that way you'll get notifications for when new content comes out. So, I mean, this is a... Oh, that's not a good start. That is so not what I want. Just typical, I've just come out here expecting this to be a pretty easy place to defend and what have you, and straight away I've got owls. So it's like, I think pretty much straight off you can tell them, and you can't sort of like just leave things lying around here. You don't want any dinos just left out in the open. You'd have to keep them in structures. So the plan is I'm going to build the main building here that I'll be using for crafting and what have you. I'll build that here, and then I'll build a kind of like a storage place for the dinos out there, because I want to do breeding as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop Dipsy out here. Where's she gone? Right. One thing I've noticed, I could have sworn that the I've just popped Dipsy out here, and she's not showing a cooldown timer on our ability to mate. Now I was pretty sure that the settings I had before, I had settings about 0.01 before, and I was absolutely certain that they were running at roughly about 1.5 minutes between each mating interval. And as I found out since, they're actually a lot higher. So that's probably why I did end up going for setting the mating interval to 0. Now you've seen with Dipsy here, I've just started this game up with a 0 mating interval, and Dipsy's popped out, and there's automatically she can actually mate. So I think I mentioned in a previous video that I was pretty sure that there was no like significance between the mating interval and these things going into a cryopod, but as it turns out there is. So there you go, I was absolutely wrong. So whatever your mating interval is, that does impact the time period that, you know, once you pop these out of the actual cryopod, that does determine how long you've got to wait. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around with Dipsy here. I mean, I'm going to, just to get started, I'm just going to put a couple of foundations, which I've actually left them on Aussie the Owl there. I'm going to put a couple of foundations down, just so I've got some place to store all the stone. So if you can just give me them, I'll just put these here for now, and then I can get my storage boxes as well. I'll put that over there actually. There you go, snap straight in. So basically what me and Dipsy are going to do now is just basically clear this place up, and then I'll start working on the foundations. So once I get to that point, I'll bring you back. Right then, so I've put a sort of a foundation layer down, so it's just one layer high. But I've got a couple of problems here, in that I've got things like brambles that are sticking through and grass as well, so I'm going to have to do this too high. You can't harvest any of this by hand, and the sickle doesn't work on it either. So basically I'm just going to have to put two sort of layers up, you know, of stone foundations, or at least that was the plan. I mean, I can't harvest these either. These aren't interested. I'd love to actually shoot them with a shotgun, but no, that doesn't work. So I mean, the plan is to have sort of like the crafting area on this side and the cooking area on this side, but I'm going to have a sort of like an entry level porchway, if you will, here. This will be the entrance room, and then you'll have on the left a doorway into that place, a doorway on the right place there. So just to be able to get around, I've got this little ramp in, but I've run into some strange problem where, like here for instance, no problems putting that down, which I wouldn't expect. But there's there's 3 places now that I've found where I just can't put another foundation in. So if I put that, well, I'll try that one there. So it's green, which to me suggests it'll work, but if I try that, I'm just getting a strange little noise back. It's just refusing to allow it. I mean, I don't know if it's because we're underneath the beacon, but then why would it let me do the first layer anyway? The thing that bothers me is I don't know if that's going to affect the walls as well later down the line, but I'll just have to see. But it doesn't work there either. That one's okay. Because my intention was to put basically a 2 layers of foundations down, but it's not letting me. So there was that place over there. That place works. That place doesn't. Now at first I was thinking, well, maybe it's because of the brambles, something special about the brambles. But it doesn't. It's not stopping me putting that one there. So I'm a bit puzzled. So I think what I'll do to kind of get around it, if it'll let me, I'll put that wall there, for instance. And then what I can do is I can put a, where I can't put the foundations, I can put I'll put a wall and like a ceiling in place. So I mean that's about 15,000, 10,000. So it's not as strong as this, but it's kind of a compromise, if you will. The only thing I'm starting to be bothered about is the is if I start having problems with walls later down the line. I mean, there are wolves and Daedons I'm finding every so often pop up over the far end, so I've got Freya out and Agnes as well. But otherwise, it's just going to be a case of gathering all the resources to build all this up, because the idea is I want this place, I'm going to put some foundations on the front here. I only put that there so I can get up and see if I can try and get to put that foundation in at maybe an angle, but it wouldn't help. It wouldn't have it. Even if I put that there, I still can't put a foundation here. So it's at this stage I'm not quite sure why, but as I say, I've got a kind of a workaround. And this is just to allow me to get up there. As I say, I'll put another layer down there and in the front, so that this will be kind of like the entryway. And it's just really now just a case of going out and gathering up more resources. So I'll bring you back once I've made further progress. Okay, so I've got the first layer built, if you will. So I've had to, as I say, I've had to put it two foundations high because of all the grass and the brambles. So I would have preferred to, if I could have done it in one high, I would have quite liked to have this as wood, but it doesn't really look that good. I've found. I mean, if you've got like 2 layers of foundations, whether it's the S Plus version or the vanilla version, they don't particularly look all that good, at least not to me anyway. So I've left these as stones, so I've got a kind of like a little porch area here, and I'll put my feeding trough there. Then over here is where I've just put a couple of forges. I'm not quite sure if I'm actually going to bother with an actual industrial forge. I'll have a think about it. It just depends on how much metal's in the area and how much how much I particularly need. But on the right side I've got an industrial grill, because I mean I've got to be able to feed myself, and it takes quite a while to cook meat on a normal campfire, I find. Might be different types of things I might need, so you never know, it's worthwhile putting one in. Then I've got a couple of refrigerators here so I can keep things like the kibble and the meat, cooked meat, raw meat, whatever. I was going to originally have this all the way out here, and then I thought, well, I'll have a two width porch, so I'll have to move these refrigerators, because they were okay. I put them kind of like in the middle and left a bit of a gap over here to put something else, but I think I'll move these further back now. For now I've just put the bed in that corner because I'm not quite sure where else I can put it. I mean, I don't particularly need like an industrial cooker or anything. I mean the grill. I need the grill to cook meat, but at least I've got a gap anyway. I've got a bit of space there in case I change my mind. I've started putting storage. I'll put storage down here, and as far as I can tell, I should only need things like the fabricator, the smithy, and then that way I can build bullets in there and darts, and I can repair them in there as well. All my weapons. There are some weapons, things like the assault rifle and so on. They've got to be done in here. Just having a look. Yeah, so if for instance my shotgun gets damaged, at least I can repair it in here. Just have a... I don't think there's a... Yeah, you can get a canteen in there as well, so it's worthwhile at least putting one of them in. I've put the electrical generator over here. I mean, why not? Just turn that on. And I've got a chemistry station as well, because I'm going to be needing things like spark powder to make things like gunpowder, because I'm going to need to be able to replace stuff as well, and I can build things like narcotics as well, so it's always worthwhile having that as well. Now, that's a bit unfortunate, because that's turned on. And that's turned on, so it's possible that the range isn't far enough. I don't know if I can see. See, the range is usually quite good on these, so I might end up swapping these round, I think, because obviously I want to be able to... I mean, that says it's powered. I'll just pick that one up. Just out of curiosity to see how roughly how far I could put it. So if I put it that, say there. Ah, right. So I think that's why. It's probably because it wasn't. Sometimes they can be a bit picky where you don't get power. Just to double check that, I'll pick this one up. Because I'm not 100% sure if it's a distance thing or whether it's just because it's being fussy. Yeah, so see, it's powered. So yeah, that sometimes happens. I'll have to pick this one back up as well, by the looks of it. So I'm going to finish off that. I'm going to replace these. I need to pick that back up and put it back down and put these in the corner, and then I need to start putting up the walls. So I'll be back shortly once I've got that part done. One thing I should mention is this bug about the blueprints and whatever. It doesn't just affect my character, it even affects the dinos. So if you look at Ozzy here, now Ozzy, as far as I can tell, has got a saddle on. But I was just about to go off and get some wood, and you can see he's got this like blueprint on. It's really weird. It's worse for the armor, I've found, because the when it's the hot keys here, your little bar that you've got along here, what happens is the blueprint gets stuck, but if you put something in, you know, that problem goes away. Because for me it was affecting the GPS. When it comes to things like your armor, your dino armor, it's really weird, because look, I mean, that's like a blueprint. I can't take it off. But oddly enough, the armor is actually what the armor value is. So that's like the basic 25 armor for a snow owl, and it's still registering, so it's there. I mean, it's visibly there. But I can't say, like, now take this off. Say I had a few owls and I was swapping saddles around between them so I could move them around, for instance. Well, I can't take this off this one now. It's kind of like it's frozen in place. It's stuck with it. And it's quite frustrating when it's armor, because then it's a case of, you know, I want to take my armor off, but I can't, because it's kind of like stuck into the character for some strange reason. I think the only way I fixed it, I'm trying to think, I think I would upload my character to yeah, I'd upload my character to one of these beacons, for instance, and download it, and I think that would get rid of it. Otherwise you were kind of like stuck. So if you had like really good armor that's good at protecting against the cold but not against the heat, that would be a bit of a problem. I mean, you can put other armor on top, and I don't know if it was actually, you would end up with the armor of the original, which was like fused in, plus the armor of the new. I can't remember quite what it was, but it's yeah, it's definitely weird. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention it, because as I say, I've only hit this once, and that was on the island. And it was quite a while ago. I haven't had that problem with other maps that I've been playing, so this is the first time I've seen it for a long time, and it's annoying. But anyway, I need to go and get some more wood to finish off building this little base that I've got, so I'll be back shortly. Right then, so I brought you back because I've put in some of the walls and some of the ceilings up there. I mean, it probably would have been better if I had those ceilings sort of like coming to a meeting point, but the trouble is you can't get to like half size pieces, so they've got to be like an even number. You've got to have like an even width basically to get them to meet. And this is something I'm missing here. And as far as I can tell, if I were to bring those like up in the middle there, if I was to bring up two more sort of like sloped roofs that crisscross each other, and that would just look, well, it would just look weird. So what I've got then so far, then, I mean, I've put some doors in. I've got the windows, so I've gone for wood around the top, because I think it kind of complements it if you're like mixing up the stone and the wood. I was going to go for thatch, but kind of went against the idea. I'm not overly fond of it. I mean, there is one thought. Oh, it's you. There's been a big woolly mammoth wandering around here. I thought it was the woolly mammoth at one point. I mean, I suppose it does look a bit odd. I mean, from the side, because of the you've got like 2 layers of stone, but you're only seeing 1 layer of wood. So I don't know. I don't know whether I'll add another level to that or what. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ceilings in here so it doesn't look so odd. I'm going to do the same on the inside as well. So then you just got to, I'll probably put wooden ceilings in, I think. So I don't think that chemistry bench had a problem with the power, but the refrigerators did. So I've moved those and I've put them in the corner. And I've got the grill. I just picked that up and moved it, so that's working. So I've been able to get meat, and reasonably easy to get some water. But I think I might run a pipe back to here, save me having to keep coming down here to get water. I mean, it's no big deal, to be honest, but I think for the sake of convenience, it is a bit odd not to have at least have a tap in there. Now, what I want to do as well is I quite want to. I like the idea of extending these roofs out to here. So I think the idea is I'm going to try maybe putting some pillars in the corners if I can, and then extend the roof out. I'll do it on both sides. But I do need to think about that, because it looks kind of odd not having, you know, because it doesn't come together in a point. It does look a bit odd, I must admit. I mean, it's no big deal, because I mean, in terms of the practicality, I mean, I built it more for practicality than aesthetics, because it's a case of I've got all this extra space. If I could narrow it down, I could reduce the width by 1. But then what happens if I suddenly decide actually I want to bring some other things in? So I'd rather. Oh, hang on, have we got trouble out there? I thought I saw some numbers going off there. Where's Dipsy? Ah, she's down there. Yeah, I mean, I could either reduce the widths, and then you'd have they'd be coming together. The ceilings would come together in a nice clean point. But the only trouble then is that I'd struggle for sort of like expansion. Or I could widen them out. And that is another alternative. I could widen these out by 1. I think I've got enough room on each side, so I could do that. But I'm not sure if it's worth it, to be honest. So I'm gonna move on to the next phase anyway, which is to widen this lot out. Widen the ceilings out. Put some like some just little ceilings underneath these places here, just to improve the aesthetics a bit. So I'll bring you back once that's done. Well, I think the externals are now done. I mean, what I've done is I've put these wooden ceilings in here. So I mean, I extended out the roof to bring it out to here, right up to the front, and then I've got pillars as some sort of like support there as well, just to show it's getting held up. It didn't look particularly good with just the stone like slope roofs, so what I've done is I've put these wooden ceilings underneath, and I've extended it out a bit here just for the sake of, you know, you're standing on a kind of like a porch, and I've put them in there as well, so it's I think I quite like that. I mean, I think it would have been better if they had come to, you know, these roofs had come together and met at a point. I think that would have been better, but I'll have to think if it's worthwhile expanding this. I certainly don't want to shrink it and make it it's like only like two foundations width, you know, for those rooms. I mean, there's more than enough room in there, but I just don't know. It's one of these things where something might change further down the line. I mean, inside I've now got some wooden walls. I'll need to put some doors in. I've put the same sort of like ceilings in the inside as well. So I do quite like the look of that. Now that, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna really, I don't know if I'll bother with the windows. I might put some like little wooden windows in just for completeness, because it looks a bit odd just having a gaping hole. The trouble is you can get like the little glass ones. There's which ones were there? There were, there's those ones, they'll fit. The reinforced ones, I'm not sure, I'll have to check, but I know that they, like with the doors, when you've got a wooden door, a wooden wall, I should say. So you've got a wooden doorway. You can't fit one of these, like, well, you can't fit the reinforced door. One of these ones, as far as I recall, I don't think they'll fit the actual, you know, one of these. I mean, I'll just pick it up just to see. So pretty sure last time I tried it, it didn't quite fit. See there, you look, see it's off at an angle. Don't know if it's just maybe I'll try see if I can find a different snap. I don't know if there is a different snap point though. As far as it's concerned, that's the inside. So it's not giving me. Oh, hang on. Oh, I haven't said that. Yeah, as far as it's concerned, that's the outside of the door. But it's not. This is the outside. Well, that's, yeah. So that one's the outside. So it's facing outwards like that. But you can see there's a big gap. I can flip it around, but you've still got that big gap, and it just doesn't quite feel right. Like the OCD in me bothers me. I mean, it's bad enough with the stone walls, to be honest, and you can see some of the sloped ceilings and what have you coming through, but no, I don't really like that. I mean, I prefer those for the aesthetics, but they're it's just they don't quite go well with it. So I'll end up with like normal wooden doors in here, and probably just normal wooden windows as well, because you can get I mean, you can get metal ones, you can greenhouse. I've tried the greenhouse glass ones as well, but they don't seem to work either. So that's a bit of a shame. So I'm just going to have to, as I say, just get the normal little wooden ones. So in terms of practicality, I mean, it's ideal. I mean, I'm seriously tempted to actually put a stove just down there. I don't need that much storage, I don't think, not at the moment. But I'm seriously tempted to put a stove in down here. You know, the cookers. Let's see if I can find it in here in the fabricator. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, a fireplace. I'm quite tempted to build one of them. Let's See if I can, is it on here or is it in the smithy? No, it's on here. So quite a lot of stone. I don't think I've got the resources. Yeah, there's still quite a lot of resources you'd need, but they look quite good. Like, you know, for aesthetics, so you could put it like down the middle, for instance, maybe. I think that would look quite good. The only thing that's got me now is, I mean, I could put some more storage in there, because there's obviously quite a lot of resources I'll want to hold on to. But there's plenty of room in here to put some more storage spaces as well. But I quite like it. I mean, from a practicality purpose, I think it's going to be ideal, because it's going to save me having to go backwards and forwards to the city. Yeah, but it's still got me a bit bugged that. It's just the fact that it doesn't quite, they don't meet, so it looks a bit, to me it looks a bit odd. Because obviously I've joined them up in the middle there, because I've got this part going that way, and then these ones go that way. And it's a bit frustrating that these, for some strange reason, the ceilings won't snap to these. It's because I'm mixing stone and wood. The ceilings here, that don't line up with the slope roofs. I've tried slope ramps, and they'll line up with the stone ceiling, but then I'll end up with a big massive gap. Here, for instance, I mean, you can see how the roof comes just slightly. That slope roof comes slightly out, whereas the stone ceiling here doesn't meet it. It won't come out any further. Now I could put a stone ramp in it instead of that stone sloped roof. I could put a stone sloped. Well, I think it's just a stone. Was it a stone sloped ramp? That was it. I'm just going to double check, because I actually made some. Where are they? Yes, I've got these stone slope ramps, because I've tried these. Now these are actually, they'll line up with the ceiling. So it actually looks a lot better. Just pull that one off, for instance. So take that one back. See if I can get it to snap. So you can see how it lines up with the ceiling, but the only trouble is I've now got a big gap at the with the wall. So it's kind of a case of which is, you know, which is the least of the two. Which one of them seems better out of the two of them? I mean, neither one of them is ideal, because I've got this gap. I still can't deal with a ceiling gap. But so I suppose, but I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's more for functional purposes. I do like trying to go out and like build some interesting buildings every now and again. I mean, the pillars, I've got the pillars coming down here, right all the way down to the front. They only come so far down the middle, but looks a bit weird, so I might extend those ones. And I'm tempted to put some in the corners as well, actually. You know, so I've got pillars all around. That might, just for the sake of completeness, because I only put those in for the sake of supporting the rooftop up there. But now that I've got them in, it looks kind of a bit odd. So I think I might finish some pillars, put them all the way around, if I can, see what that looks like in comparison. And then it's just a case of getting basically some torches and what have you, because I think one thing I do like about having that middle wall up there is you could actually put a good trophy up there, so that would be quite useful. In some respects, I mean, it might have been good if I'd had three sloped ceilings coming out in the same direction, and then you could have, like, because there's three bosses, and then you could have three trophies on the front of your house, if you will. So I might be tempted to do that, actually, instead of having that middle roof going in the running perpendicular to these ones. I might spin it around, see what that's like. But I'll have a think about it anyway. But I'm just going to finish a few more bits off, and then I'll bring you back. Well, I've been making some changes. I think the OCD was getting the better of me. I had to just sort of like widen it out. So I've now got them meeting up at a point, whereas before there was obviously like they had like that this little flat top to them on the side ones, and just kind of missed a snowstorm. But I think that was part of the reason why I decided to put the fire in there. So I've got a fire at the back now. So yeah, so it's been basically it's widened on the left and on the right. It was a bit odd on this side because most of that side I ended up having to put in walls and ceilings because for some strange reason it just wouldn't accept foundations. So that was a bit of a pain. I mean, I'm just in a bit of a loss to understand because I mean the lower level foundations went in no problem, but trying to put a foundation on top of them just didn't seem to work. So as I say, quite a lot of that right hand side there is walls with some ceilings, just to sort of like give the impression it's a foundation and keep it kind of consistent. And I ended up putting the wooden pillars in all round, just for a bit of consistency, so they run from top to bottom. So it is much wider. The kind of messes up the window in a way, in that it's no longer centre. But I might put a double windows in there just for like a bit of symmetry, because otherwise it looks a bit weird. Let's have a look. So yeah, I've put a fireplace in. I had to, because every so often you get snowstorms in here, and it seems quite appropriate to have them. Let's see if I've got enough wood for any windows. Nah, I need a lot more wood. So I've moved the grill out to here. I've moved the refrigerators out of there as well. So I've got like a lot of room now. I mean, at least it's something I can expand on. I still need to put the doors and the windows in, but I've moved the smithy out a bit further. I left the electrical generator where it was. Didn't see much point moving that. I mean, if I wanted to put something in the corner, like maybe like an S+ crafting bench or something, I could always do that. So yeah, so I think this is going to be a lot better now, because I've got a double bed here, so that should be good for if something does go pear-shaped. And I've got my wooden ceilings all the way around. So yeah, I mean, other than that, one thing I did try is I was trying to rotate that roof around so that I would end up with three wooden walls facing me. But the trouble is, I was getting conflicts with if you look in the corners, you've got a bit of a sloped wall, and at the back it was causing conflict for me. The problem was there's already a sloped wall there, and it was just clashing, and I think on one side it worked, on one side it didn't. As soon as I put one down, it destroyed the other one. I tried rotating between an S+ one and a normal vanilla one, but it didn't make any difference. It was still getting destroyed, so I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, it's left it. Wait, can I just get? Just want to get on top of the owl. So I quite like that, I must admit. I think it's a very basic design. Nothing fabulous, but I do like having that fireplace now at the back. Yeah, very nice. That I like that. That's a nice touch. I suppose I could do with some light, and I'm going to have to go back to the forest at some point if I want to put water down, because I'm going to need a lot of things like electronics as well. I mean, I've already found some metal, so I've started smelting the metal to get ingots, but you've got to get electronics to be able to do some of the stuff I want to do, to be able to get the wiring and all that sort of stuff running back to there, and to get electrical lamps inside of the actual room. I think that's really good. That it's a good place. It's a good place to be. I mean, I haven't put any walls in yet to basically block the area off. I should do. I think I might. This section here, I can't remove it, but I'm quite happy with it as it is for now, because it's a case of, yeah, I do get these dire wolves and daedons wandering up, but it means I don't. If I put a wall down there, it's going to impact the respawn of resources. This, I don't know if it's this tree or one of the other ones. There's a one around spawns around here. I get massive amount of wood. Yeah, I think it's that one. But I get massive amounts of wood from it. And if I put a wall up, it's going to start... Well, it's basically just going to block it off. So I think I'll just leave it as is. What I'm going to do is probably what I've done at other bases. I'll put a dino leash down here, and I think I might bring some dire wolves up just to keep an eye on the place. So if anything does like stray in, then the dire wolves will take care of it. For the breeding, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of bothered about the Managamas. I haven't seen any coming in this area so far. I've only had the odd snowy owl and, as I say, those dire wolves and daedons who've given me a bit of hassle. But if I'm going to do any breeding, I mean, especially if you know I'm going to be keeping them tied down to a hitching post. I mean, you're going to be up against a Managama that's going to attack from the air, for instance. So I think I might be inclined to like build another building over here, for instance, somewhere here, a fairly large building, and then I can keep the tames in there and breed in this inside of there. I think that'd probably be the better strategy. But overall, I mean, it's taken me quite a while just to gather all the resources. I mean, Dipsy helped me a lot because she gathered stone. I didn't. I should have really brought one of the beavers over, to be honest. And then I could have chopped the wood down at a much quicker rate. But this axe I've got's pretty good. So yeah, it's I like the look of this, I must admit. I mean, I don't know if you get trophies off the boss, but I think it would look a lot better if you could just like put them on the front of that. Might make it a lot more interesting. But anyway, that's all for this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If so, then do please click the like button, as that'll help me out a great deal. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more content, then yeah, do subscribe. But just remember to click the little bell icon, and that way you'll get notifications for when new content comes out. And if you've got any comments or suggestions, or anything particularly about this build, do please post them in the comments section, and be greatly appreciated. But till the next video, thanks very much for watching. Bye.